Good evening and hello. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys are doing great. This is Sharita and you're on the couch. Hindsight Media Radio 103.5 FM. I am also here with my lovely, beautiful co host, Connie.
Hello, everyone. 2026 in the building.
Girl, I
Has it
feel,
been a whole week
listen,
already?
it's Christmas already. It's
Oh my
Christmas.
gosh.
It's Christmas already, you know?
Oh,
Um, it'll be here before you know it. Last year I think
I
went
know.
by pretty
Yes,
quick.
yeah.
But I let's take it slow this year. And already it's the
Well,
beginning
you
of
know,
the year and stuff is already happening. You
I mean,
know,
I was about to say that it's
it's
hard to say because they've already got Valentine's stuff in the store.
already. So, it'll probably be Thanksgiving stuff after that. So
I'm telling
well actually I went into Walmart and it was Valentine's and St. Patrick's
you.
together.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, it's coming. But before we get into anything, always want to give honor and praises to God for everything that He's done and everything that He's doing. I mean, I get that there's just a lot of chaos in the world, but He still holds us. He's still in the healing business, and we definitely we want to love on Him, and we want Him to love on us. Just so grateful and thankful just to be on this side. I mean, it's a new year and it's just a new time to start planting some seeds so you can start reaping this harvest. I mean, what do you think, Connie?
Sounds like a plan to me. Something that's soothing for the soul and something that you can see some, you plant a good seed, you reap a good reward. So that's what it's all about today and going forward. I agree.
Amen, amen, amen. Well, we are here again on the couch bringing you some, I don't know, spicy talk and some warm tea, I guess, or hot tea, spicy talk, or however it goes. But here's something that I kind of ran across in conversation with someone else, and I wanted to bring it to the couch today. We are in this era, I think, at least from the people that I know that I've run across, everybody's in this thing of dating. Dating is like going to the gym, it's a hot commodity. Everybody's in this thing of dating. And I think people are starting to rethink how they date, how they fall in love. I think they're responding differently to people these days. And some people are just looking to date. Nobody's really looking to get married, and some people vice versa. But raising standards, lowering standards, whatever that looks like. But we were talking about dating and dating either within or outside of that money earning bracket. And so the question that came up was, would you date a man that had or made less money than you? Now, if we're building a person, this guy, nice looking guy, dresses nice, has a nice car, I mean, has a pretty good paying job, but someone who's making over $100,000 a year, you, the lady, the person, here's this guy who's making probably, we'll just say 65,000 dollars a year. Would you date a man who's emotionally intelligent? Who would you date a man, no matter how nice he was or whatever? Could you date a man who made less money than you? I said, and I guess I'm built differently, but I mean, this is where kind of I think you will have the argument probably because you're my sister and I know kind of how you think. But I said that as long as he treated me well, he treated me right, he, checked the boxes. He may not check absolutely all of them, but he checked the ones that really mattered the most. Like he checked the boxes. I would say yes. I don't think I would have a problem with that. But what what would you say? Would you date a man that made less money than you?
I'm gonna have to check and take. I'm gonna have to take no for 200,
You
Alex,
know what? See,
and I'm
right
gonna tell
there.
you why.
Why? Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. And not saying that from a perspective of what type of person. Now, if he could be a nice guy, not me not being judgmental or anything like that. Not saying that I'm better. Not saying that I make millions of dollars a year, anything like that. But from what I have seen and being a little bit older, even when you're self-made and you make more, your ideas, your thoughts, your perspective, your viewpoints, your point of view, your focus, your strategy is just a little bit different from someone who may not be making as much as you.
Well,
so
I mean,
you don't want this other person to feel out of. I mean, you may just love him to death,
right?
love everything about it, But would he be able to function in certain circles or even feel comfortable?
But I mean, why wouldn't he? If he's a smart, educated person, why wouldn't he be able to function in those circles? I've seen, and it kind of reminds me of, and I love this movie, Crazy Rich Asians. It kind of, you've got to watch it. Okay. You've got to watch it. It's a really good love story. Aquafina, I love Aquafina. She's in it, but it kind of reminds me of that. Someone coming from a prestigious background, and he's been dating this girl for a while, but now it's time for her to meet the mother, and the mother is just kind of like, okay, you bringing this girl, and so it's a matter of trying to fit in, but love is love, and love overcomes a lot. That, and it kind of reminds me of Daddy's Girls, where it was Idris Elba and Gabrielle Union, and I think I want to say he was a mechanic or something. But her friends were like, this dude is not even in your league. Like, he doesn't even make the account of money that you make. He's not even in that kind of circle, and so they would just kind of on her about dating this guy who wasn't even her match. Me personally, if I'm making that kind of money, and here's this guy who makes less money than me, now keeping in mind, if I'm going off of where I sit today, having two kids, and they're having these and I'm having these, the question comes, well, can this person take care of this need? I am this person. I make my own money. I make my own goals. I am goal oriented. I am driven. I know how to make my money. And I'm not going to depend on anybody else to give me money. I'm going to be out there doing my own thing. Just because he makes less money than me, there are other factors that I look for. I mean, and I guess for me, I'd rather argue about budgets than, I guess, to beg for emotional availability. I need you to be emotionally available, and I'm okay with that. I mean, that's fine. If you don't make the kind of money that I make, I'm not gonna like throw you to the. Now, I do believe that there are standards, but I'm not gonna throw you to the wolves just because you're a dollar less than what I make. But when you talk about fitting inside of certain circles, I honestly believe that there is a thin line, because now you insult the intelligence of the other person rather than. I mean, am I wrong?
Stop it. Well, no, you're not wrong, but that's just for you. Okay, stop at the red
light. Y'all bourgeois, these bougie people, highfalutin folks.
Which is probably why I'm single. But when he put up with me, he's going to his one job. Here I am going to two. Okay, and me myself, I was just going to work at the part-time job yesterday. So I walk in with that look on my face, like, I know I need to be here, or it's making it easier for me to be here, and I really don't want to be here. Then I turn around and think, okay, before I came to work to the part-time job, I'm out on Wayfair.com looking at this sofa, had to have it for $1,300. And if, don't even fix your mouth to say, shouldn't buy, don't need to buy, are you sure? Because if I'm questioned about my purchase, that's going to be a problem as well. So That's just what for me. Would he want to deal with me coming home, from working 2 jobs? That could be because it's comfortable for me right now because it's just me. But I don't know if it would fit. Like I said, this is probably why I'm single.
But think
just
about
for
it.
me,
You
it's just
okay? But in this scenario, you're not working 2 jobs. You're working the one.
okay.
So if you had the
Oh, okay.
one and you're making the money that you're making, and you meet this guy who's a great guy, who's I mean, as y'all get to know each other, who's a great guy, you know, you it he likes you. Quite naturally, you like him, and the more you get to know, it's kind of like, oh, wait a minute, you mean you got to go clock in somewhere, like, oh, you're a mechanic, like, you don't
Okay,
make
but
that you
how
don't
does
make
his
that kind of money, like, so what
his
can you
credit?
how I don't
How's his
know.
credit?
I don't,
Okay,
600,
well, see, we
can
have
it
see,
600,
see.
six
Okay, what? That will be oh no, oh no.
He's still listen.
Years.
He is still paying off student loans from Mississippi State.
Okay, this
He's
is
still paying
definite
off
no.
Mississippi State student loans. It's okay.
It's a definite no. How
Why
is that
why would it be
credit?
a
What is
definite
that?
no?
Do you even have your 401k established at your job? Oh, if the credit is 600, I'll take no.
But why can't you be that woman? And I think this sees. Wait.
No.
Wait.
No, child, no.
Wait. And I let me say it. I'll say it. I think this is where
I'm just destroyed now. I
think this is where I know it becomes a project. I get that. But again, I think I'm just built differently. I no, I mean, if I'm making that kind of money, and this, if he has no goals, if he's in all kind of debt, I get that piece. I mean, it's I very much understand. I wouldn't date. I'm just saying, I don't think I could, from that standpoint, like, if you don't have your stuff together. But if you're one of those people who, you've gotten your stuff together, and this is just where you are, like, you're put together, and emotionally you're giving me what I need, still on top of the 65,000 that you make, and you're still like, well, come on, babe, I want to take you on this vacation, or I want to do these things for you. Why wouldn't I? Why would I tell you, the mechanic who owns your own mechanic shop, even though you may not make as much money than me, but you are doing your thing? Why can't I not be that woman to say yes? Not to mention, take what you have and even double that, so that we both can be on that same plane together, instead of looking at it as, well, I have a certain lifestyle that I'm accustomed to, and if you can't provide for that lifestyle, then I can't. Again, I'm not a materialistic type person. I mean,
and I'm not either. I'm just trying to be realistic.
Kind of, yes, you are. You want that Louis Vuitton purse and that Fendi bag and them Louboutin shoes. Girl, quit.
I can purchase it myself if that's what I want.
Well, can you buy me some for my birthday, please? It's coming up.
Oh, Lord. I knew you was talking to me for you think you're slick.
Can you buy me a matching bag while you at it, please?
Oh, my gosh. See, so I can't have no weekend. I see where all my money is going. No, but if he owns a mechanic shop, he might be making more money than me. But if he just works there with the credit score of 600, it's just a, hey, how you doing? Bye.
Okay, well, let's take that.
Make sure my brakes are working and the oil change.
Well, let's take that then. What if he's a mechanic? Maybe he don't own the shop, or maybe he's a manager at Chick-fil-A or someplace, but he's a well put together person. Is it still so bad to say, well, you know what, I'm going to meet with the mayor, and I'm going to this party? Do I just leave him at home just because he can't tell a dinner fork from
No, you don't leave him at home. All I'm saying is, if he's a great guy, I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying, at my age and knowing what I know, and this is probably why I'm single, and I don't want to miss my blessing, but he's just not for me. It's just not for me.
Well, I believe that
now for men it's totally different because they're accustomed to doing the giving. They get a sense of pride. Yeah, I bought my woman this. I gave her money for that. That's what men do. But for me as the woman, I'm just gonna stick to my first mind because in the past I have deviated from my first mind and it got me in a world of trouble.
Well, so that's
like I said, I don't want to miss my blessing.
Right.
I'm just gonna have to stick. I'm just gonna have to stick to my first mind. It just won't work for me.
And I get that, and I get the argument that he may not fit inside of that circle, that lifestyle. It's kind of like, well, what can he do for me? Can he afford the lifestyle that I have? I don't think I'm looking for anybody to afford the lifestyle that I have. I mean, millionaires, billionaires have fallen in love and dated their private chefs or their butlers or their maids or their chauffeurs. I mean, and they've lived happy lives.
And that's totally different because he's the man. He's the one that's doing all the providing, and men.
No. She's the one. She's the billionaire. She's the rich one, and she's falling in love with the chauffeur and with the butler help. And the garden, the help. If that's what you want to call it. Yeah, I mean, because sometimes the help be looking kind of fly. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay.
You look good mowing that yard. Would you like a glass of lemonade? Like, I'm just.
See, that's why I'm single. I keep turning them all down. Like anybody's approaching me.
I'm just saying. But it happens, and that's why I say I'm not necessarily looking for anybody to like afford my lifestyle and keep up with my lifestyle. Give me the love, the time, and the attention. And because I believe that, especially if I'm business savvy, I can take what you have already and double it. Let's do that so we can be up here together, where you're not down there and I'm up here, and it becomes an unequal thing. And now we're arguing because you can't fly me to Paris and the private jet and all that. That's not.
Well, see, if I want to,
and everybody's different. I mean, I'm not poo-pooing on anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it. I get it. It's just that I just want to do, for me. That's just me.
I get that. I get.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, that's just me.
But what if he gives
because
you all
if we go out to lunch or dinner, and if he even looks like his face is going to be messed up when the bill shows up for $175, then I'm going to have a problem. Not that I'm going to be eating like that every day,
right?
But I've gone out with my team members, and we've gone to birthday dinners and all of that, and with your order at the end of the dinner, your tab is $125. And granted, I don't do that often, but I don't. If I even think your face is frowning up, then I'm going to have a problem with that. Because I don't want you to think, oh, you're spending too much. Like I don't do it often by any stretch of the imagination. But if I do that, or if I go to a certain store, I don't want you to feel out of sorts. I don't want you to feel
right,
less than a man because
right.
I want to do this. Now there are times when you will see me at the Goodwill. You will see me because I try to balance out what I spend a lot of money on.
Right.
And most of it is saving,
right.
Because that's a definite thing. So that's why I was asking about the credit, the 401k, and all this kind of thing.
Well, I get I get what you're saying.
And there's a lot that go in. And some people can make it work, and I applaud that. I do, but and like you said, everyone's different.
So so I know there are some expensive restaurants, you know, here in Atlanta. And, wherever you guys, the listeners, wherever you are, around the world, there are some expensive places and eateries. And so um if going to the most expensive restaurant here,
and it doesn't have to be
and
the
it,
most expensive.
well, no, and just taking
expensive.
that for an example, if the most expensive restaurant is, and that's your favorite place to go, it's pricey, but
Yeah.
and it may not be the most expensive, but it's pricey, but that's
Yeah.
your favorite place to go. And let's just say maybe it's a birthday or something, your birthday, and it's like, okay, well, babe, I want to go to this place, and you both know that it's pricey, that it's pricey, but this is where you want to go. And what if he's like, well, yeah, I don't mind taking you there, but can I take you there when it's most affordable for me, like next week?
No.
When I
no.
Connie,
no.
can you give the
no.
man a chance?
No, because if I'm accustomed to going when
No,
I want to go, and it's not
girl,
like we go out. No,
give
No.
that man, let that man get paid. How come he can't get? Why can't he get paid?
No. And see, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to end up going without him. He's not going to know about it. And then next week when
That
he
is
gets
so
paid, he
sad.
can pay me.
I want
So I
everybody
get to
to
go
listen
twice.
to this. Why? Just why?
See,
Just
that's why.
why?
No, I'm
Just
not
why?
waiting. No.
Just
See,
why?
that's what I'm saying.
But see, but outside of that, he has done everything else. He has taken you to places. He's taken you on trips. He's done all these things. It's just this one particular place he may not be able to afford. But he's like, no,
And see,
babe,
that's a
I
problem.
don't mind doing that for you. Can you give me another day? What's wrong with saying,
No.
okay, babe, that's fine, because you do everything else.
I will do it, but I'm secretly I'm gonna be kind of I'm gonna feel some type of way.
You know what? I'm gonna pray for you.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay? This is the very reason why no man wants to put up with this, and I understand that.
No,
totally.
I am going to get my anointing oil.
Oh, no, I got plenty of oil around here, so I'm already covered. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah, hallelujah. But see, that's why I'm saying, what man is gonna want to put up with that? See, I'm not gonna want to wait. I want to go this Friday. I don't want to wait till payday Friday. See, that's why I have 2 jobs. I can go when I get ready.
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, and honestly,
I have no problem sitting up there by myself.
Don't do that. But I get. I see your point. Honestly, like realistically, I get that. But again, if I'm that woman, and that's why I say I think I'm built a little bit differently. Now, and I'll be fair, I don't want anybody that's broke, definitely, but if you're making that kind of money, and even though I make more than you, and you're giving me love, time, and attention, like again, like you're checking all the boxes, I'm not gonna be on you because you can't buy me a Fendi bag or
no, and
any of these other things. I mean, it's not, because for me, that's not what it's about. And especially if I'm used to living that lifestyle, and here you are, this man who comes along and you like me and you see how I'm living. Now, that's on you if you feel like you want to get involved, because I'm gonna give you that disclaimer and say, well, listen, this is the kind of lifestyle that I have, and this is the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to. Do you think that you can keep up with that? Because this is just how I'm living. And if he's like, well, I'll do the best I can to keep up with it, but understand that I don't make that kind of money that that you make. I mean,
Okay,
I get
but
that.
don't buy me the Fendi bag and then next week saying I need help paying so and so, because then we're gonna start having problems.
This man has sacrificed his whole check to get you that Fendi bag.
That's
You better
why
you better pay his car note. You better pay his car note. He has sacrificed.
Girlfriend,
he has sacrificed
honestly,
to buy you that Fendi bag. You better pay his car note.
No, I'm gonna put it all out there for the listeners, because that's the type of girl I am.
Mm-mm.
Been there, done that, and it was nothing nice.
Don't y'all listen?
We don't want to go back down that road a second time. So no.
Listen, but he's trying though. He's trying.
We too old to try. I'm a million years old.
You know what?
I do not want to wait around. If I want it now, and I'm not materialistic to that point, because to me, like I said, I can go to the thrift store. If I see a nice purse, if it's a real purse, it doesn't have to be name brand fancy smancy. If I like it and it costs $6.32, I'm getting it if I like it. But all this other stuff, nothing. Like you said earlier, making him a project, no. I would spend that time doing something else.
I wouldn't want that, but I will say this now. I mean, my thing is, if he's emotionally intelligent, excuse me, he's high functioning, he's emotionally intelligent, I'd say yes. I would date him having less money. The peace, safety, and partnership are priceless, but if I get emotional intelligence without ambition, still isn't enough. And so if you're coming and you have no goals, no dreams, no aspirations, like I'm just gonna sit on your couch and put my feet up, like, yeah, that becomes a problem. But if you're that man that's like, well, no, I don't make as much as you, but here are my projects and things that I have in place, and I can actually see that you're working and things are moving, then why not? Why wouldn't I? I mean,
because to me, you should have been doing something. At
and I get that.
You should have been doing something.
Well, I mean, but think about it though. There are people in their 50s and 60s who are stepping foot out to do things just to have that footprint out there. And I get it, and I understand that it's that entitlement. It's like, well, now that I have a chance and an opportunity to invest in this is just what I'm going to do. And I get that. But if he, let's just say at 50, decided, you know what, I think I want to invest in owning a Chick-fil-A, and he does that, why can I not be that woman who's in a relationship with this man and he's not asking me for a penny? His thing is, well, no, I've already got everything in place. I'm just waiting for a yes. Why can I not be that woman to be with this man, support this man, do for this man? Because at some point, he and I are going to be at the same level. In a minute, he's going to be making more money than me. So why can't I not? What is wrong with me dating someone who makes less money as long as they're fulfilling their goals and dreams and they're chasing things? I mean, is that still wrong? Is that still considered like hanging on to a project, more or less?
It's a case by case basis. I mean, before I make any type of commitment, because at this age, the dating is dating to marry.
Right.
I don't want to date a project. Because truthfully, when you're working on something, especially in this day and age, the most precious commodity is the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take time to get things started, for investments to turn around. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be bumps in the road, and you better not fix your face to ask me for a nickel, because the answer is no. Because I can't see taking what I've earned, and I would want to be supportive, but I can't see. I mean, what if he comes asking me, I need $20,000?
Right.
That's a note painted in red. One of those airplanes that fly with the sign in the back with a bunch of exclamation points behind it.
Right. Right.
At my age.
Right.
Because it has taken years, to build up my little nest egg. And then when I meet you, here I am, I own a home.
Right.
You're not moving in here.
Right. I get that.
So, I mean, there's just a lot of different things, to where just seeing, it's a case by case basis. But still, for me, I would I can just see myself being cautious enough to try to look at every single point. Remember, one other conversation we had, I told you had the list with the 80 things, which is probably why I'm single. I mean, there's a lot of boxes to check.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't want to just go into something blindly just for the sake of, I met a man and we got married. You know, he's available, he's this, he's that, but there are just so many things that, or enough things to where you're not equally yoked, that those things turn into big problems further down the road. And when it's all said and done, you don't want to just be, you know, emotionally bankrupt at the end of, because you tried to make it work. He was great, but things, you know, that's one of those cases when they say, you know, sometimes love just ain't enough.
I get that, and I think it depends on the seat that you sit in, because you're different from me. And I think because again, my stance is, as long as you're giving me love, time, and attention, I'm okay. And I'm not saying that you have to leave it up to me to pay all the bills. Like, well, we know that's not gonna work. Because I cannot function off of, well, let's cross that bridge when we get there. That's not gonna flow. But if again, if I'm making $100 and some $1,000 a year or more, and you're coming at me and you got a great job, you have a great job, and you're making less money than me, and less money could actually be between $60,000 and $70,000 a year. But with that 60, 70, it's like, you know, you're talking investing, you're talking, you know, I don't know, doing something with your money, or, you know, maybe you're not investing. Maybe it's, you're just making sure that we're comfortable. You're just making sure that we, you know, that we spend time, that there's, you know, again, the high functionality of just making sure that we have, and we're taking trips and we doing all these things, and you're still providing in as much as you can. Like, I'm okay with that, because I don't need the finer things. If I want the finer things, I'll go out and buy the finer things. I don't, you know, would I like for my man to take me shopping? Of course. Why not? Would I like for him to pick up a tab and, you know, take me to the most expensive restaurant? And of course, I mean, who wouldn't want that? You know?
Yeah, but see, if I did, and honestly, if I did that, if I went along with that and he made less, I'm just going to be truthful. And I'm not trying to put myself up there, but this is just how I would manage it. I'm making more, you're making less than me. The scenario would be, when you get paid, your check, all of it is going into this account. And I'm going to be the one managing all the money. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you can and cannot have, and can and cannot buy.
Well, it sounds like you done already told him what he can have and what he can't have. I mean,
I'm the one with the home. I'm the one that's got myself situated. Your money is going into this account. Now, you can get some money out of there, but you will not be frivolous. And we're going to tell each other what we're spending the money on. But I would just be in a position of where I would have to be able to manage it. I mean, that's just me. And I don't want him to feel like I'm the man and he's the woman.
Well, you already making him feel that way.
Okay, well, that's just me. I'm not sorry.
How you gonna take this man's whole check and deposit it into an account for you to watch over? This man can watch over his own money.
Okay, well, he needs a different girlfriend, because if he came over here, I'm telling you, this is exactly how it's going to go.
I cannot. Y'all, because I try, and this is my sister, and I love her to death, but I just cannot. I can't.
He doesn't pay property taxes. He doesn't maintain a home. He doesn't do anything associated. He just pays property, just pays rent, and that's it.
But he's not. Oh, somebody. Okay.
See, that's why I'm single. I keep putting it out there. This is why I'm single.
Okay. Where is Mama when I need her? Because this is not.
See, I'm telling I just
You're
but that's just me.
but okay, you're not, this isn't somebody that you found on the street that you fixed up and found a job for, who can't manage money. This is somebody who has their stuff together. And your thing is, well, if he had it together, he would be making more money than me. Well, not necessarily. But this isn't somebody who's coming into the relationship to take advantage of a situation. This is somebody who's coming in, who's bringing himself, what he has, along with everything that is good about him, and regardless of how much he makes, he's not in it to take anything from you. He's going to try to add to it as much as he possibly can. But don't be stressing the man out. Like, I mean, if you want him to be that person that invests and does, I mean, and you know that area, then fine, sit down and have a conversation about it and just see, maybe he is interested. But he's not coming in to take. And I think that's where some people feel like, well, if I date a man who makes less money than me, then that's all they're gonna do, and I'm gonna be the one who always is having to dip into my pocket. And there are some people who are like that. There are some people who come into a relationship and they take, 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 take. They never give. They never try to rise above anything. I honestly get and understand why some people would not date someone who makes less money. I mean, like way less money than them. And you're right. For men, it's a little bit different. If a man makes more and a woman comes along, I mean, it's okay because they're a man. Men are supposed to be the providers, the head of the household. They're supposed to do these things. Women, on the other hand, it's a little bit of a different pocket that we live inside of. He's not coming in to take, but he's just not as pocket heavy as you, I guess.
And once again,
Oh
I'm
my
going to
God,
have to
here we
circle
go.
back
Here
to
we
the
go.
answer,
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Because I see them, like I said, work both jobs, and I can kind of, not that I'm trying to say I'm all that or anything, but you can see when it's the, hey, how you doing? Go back in there to the mail room.
That man could have $1 million under his mattress and you never know it.
He could. Don't, you are so right. He could. But I'm going to follow my first line, and it's just going to have to be a no.
I can't, and I can't fight you on that because I can't say change your mind, and because again, there are people who think along the lines as me. There are people who think along the lines of you, and that's okay. Right. We don't, okay. Yeah, no, and it's never to say you should or you shouldn't. It's just everybody has their own formulated opinion about how that looks. But I think the danger of, well, I can see the danger on both ends of it. I think the danger of, let's just say, your mentality and mindset is, if you think the way that you think, then I think you run the risk of, like you say, that singlehood, if that's your mentality. And so, which again, that's your right to date whoever you want to date. I'm not saying that anybody's wrong, but I also think that the danger for somebody like me who thinks along those lines is you end up with someone who comes in and they're takers rather than givers. And I think in both cases, if you're not shaping and nurturing and either I don't want to say raising or lowering a standard, but if you're not rounding it and rounding it out enough, then I think we both kind of stand to lose out on something a little bit. Hence, when you talk about being single, me, I'm stuck with someone who, is a taker and who has probably taken me for a lot of my time and money if I'm not careful. So I think you really just kind of have to round it out, a little
Yeah,
bit.
you do, and I don't look at it as a thing of when it comes to dating. Um, I tell myself, don't look at it from a perspective of, well, if this quote unquote high value man won't look at me, I'm going to have to settle for this over here. And I've settled before,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't look at my singleness as a downer, a problem, something bad, or curse anything.
Right.
I enjoy my life because I am genuinely, I have found happiness. And, having a good prayer life and being full of the Spirit, and that's the first step towards that. So I can enjoy my home. I enjoy even going to 2 jobs. I enjoy my work. I enjoy my life that I built for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have peace with myself. If I meet someone who I can partner with, like I said, the goal of dating is to marry, then that's great. And if not, I'm not looking for him or someone to make me happy because
right.
I'm happy. I enjoy my life. I love my life. I'm not going through looking for him because I don't want to miss out on all the other things that God puts in front of me to bring happiness, to bring joy, to bring fulfillment. So it's a case by case thing. And each person, you just really have to evaluate things for yourself, stick within your boundaries. If you have to create a list, you don't have to put 80 things on there. But if you create a list, just stick to the list so that you will you will end up getting what's for you. And you have to be what you want to attract. And just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy life. Do things, go places, have fun, enjoy yourself. Be upstanding, just be a good person. When you do the right thing, like His Word says, goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life.
Right.
So I'm just embracing life and just enjoying, just having the peace of mind just to go from day to day and just do what I love doing and just being me.
No, I get that, and it's, again, at the end of the day, I think within all of this is being able to address whatever the common fear is, and bringing the question to the table. It's not, and kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, and I agree with you. It's not that, that we're afraid that the person is making less. It's, being that we may end up carrying the emotional and the financial weight. Yeah. And I definitely get that. And we shouldn't have to.
Has always been, whoever I meet, whatever you're making, you will sign a prenuptial agreement. I don't care if all I have is $10.
Don't nobody want your $10 in the bank. Don't nobody want your $10.
Well, okay, well, good. Okay, there we go back to that firm.
Don't nobody want your $10.
Okay, well, there you go. I'll keep my $10 and I'll be sitting in my expensive restaurant by myself.
Oh my goodness. I still don't understand the issue, the thing with the prenup, but I do, but I don't. But that's it is what it is, I guess. But I get that. I get that, because the idea is to be able to protect what's yours already, But my thing is this. If you're equally yoked with someone, you shouldn't have to worry about that. And that's why I say, I think for myself, I'm built a little bit differently in that aspect, because, if God has placed me and this person together, then I know that provisions are going to be made, things are going to be worked out. People, in talking about relationships, a lot of people don't believe in the sanctity of a relationship. Everything is about how much. Well, the question becomes, what do you bring to the table? But really, it's how much money do you bring to the table? What can you do for me on a financial basis?
And there you go. That's what I was about to say. That's what that question translates.
That's what it is. It's
one
not
of those pop the balloon
right
scenarios where the guy. To me, I think he thought he was being smart. He said, "Well, I'm not going to ask you how much you bring to the table because that's cliche, that's stupid. But I am going to ask you, what value can you add to my life?" Someone like that, to me, that's a red flag because that's the sign of a manipulator.
Right.
I'm going to ask you this question, but I'm going to phrase it in a different way.
Right.
But I don't want you to be smart enough to figure that out.
Right. No, I get that very much, and that's why I said that it's never about what can you bring of value to the table. It's about your money. Like what kind of money do you bring to the table? I don't,
exactly.
I mean it is what it is. Again, if we are equally yoked together, money is not going to be an issue because this is why biblical principles and standards are in place. This is why God says, make provisions, get ready, because you're about to cross over into the land that you already possess, places that I've already planned for you, that when you set foot on these things, set your hands on these things, you're going to be blessed. I'm not, that's okay. I get and I understand that money in any marriage and relationship can be a problem when one makes more than the other. I get that. But this is why you sit down and you talk and you communicate and you have these conversations and you say, okay, what's going out and what's coming in? What can we do to make sure that we're comfortable, we're okay? If we want to take a trip next year, that we have enough money to do that. What can we do together as a couple to make sure that we're financially and emotionally and biblically together, sound, and okay? Because again, yes, I make my own money. I want to be able to protect, my money. If I'm gonna go broke, then fine. Let me do that by myself on my own. I don't need nobody else helping me, in that situation. But I get that financially, this is, you're going to have couples who, argue over finances. And I greatly get it. But, you know, just because you make more, he or that person makes less, as long as they're coming into this relationship with good moral values, nothing else honestly should really matter. And we, again, we find ourselves in situations and we wonder why, we're kind of still hanging out here by ourselves. It's because we're not really thinking this thing through. We're not really, you know, curving this thing around. Like, we're not addressing really what we're afraid of. And that's fine if you're afraid of that. And going back to what we said earlier, address it, talk about it so that you can correct it and do something, about it. I mean, I've dated less, I've married less, and there are things that times where it worked out and where it didn't work out, I totally get that. I understand it. But, emotionally intelligent, high functioning, as long as he's bringing that to the table. I'm not saying that alone is enough, because I mean, love can't pay direct TV and whatever light bill and card note. But see it, I don't know, see it out, think it through, have a conversation. I'm just saying, don't necessarily count it out all together. Quite naturally, you want somebody in your life, in your relationship, who can bring some financial stability to the table. Greatly understand that. But yeah, I mean, you know, just, I don't know, kind of, you have to.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
okay
yeah,
if he's a mechanic. It's okay if he, mow
and
grass
it is, but like you said, pray about it.
Yeah.
Pray about it. That's the best thing to do. Go have an open mind. Be objective and just and pray about it.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think this was a very interesting conversation to have, and especially at the beginning of this new year, because I think a lot of people are rethinking how they date. I think they're responding in a different way to people coming into their lives. I think there are people who are doing some mentally and emotionally physically decluttering, situations. I think there are some people who are doing some healing in certain areas and spaces and places of their lives. You know, you date and love whoever you want. We just say do it responsibly, do it with some level of fidelity. If you're with someone and this conversation resonates with you and you do want to have that conversation, have that conversation. Have it be honest, be clear and concise. Um, don't be in it to hurt anybody's feelings, quite naturally. But have that conversation, because that man may not make as much money as you or that woman. Um, but the next person you get, and let's just say they're on that same plane as you, may not treat you as nice. So I
I mean, and
mean,
that's true.
now
That,
you
that's
now
true.
you it's
Like I said,
like you got to weigh these
there are so many
options.
factors.
Right. There's
Yeah,
so many
there's so many.
factors.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
there's so many factors, but I would still probably date the mechanic. I
Okay, well, you
mean,
go
he can
ahead.
fix my car.
And at least I know where to come get my car fixed, and I
No,
do want a
ma'am. I
discount
no,
from
I don't
from
share.
brother-in-law.
I don't share. No, ma'am.
You gotta
No.
find something in it for me.
Mm-mm.
He family. He family. He family now.
I'm like, no, my Addison. And she's like, well, how do I know when I'm in love? How do I find, my man? I said, well, listen, and you hear this. This is coming from your mama. And I said, if he cannot provide for you the basics of what you can get for yourself, you don't need him.
There
Look
you
in
go.
the other direction because you need mental, emotional, financial, spiritual stability. Your first
Right.
place is to find somebody who's very deeply rooted in the word of God. Like that's first place. Because when you get to a space and a place where financially or any kind of corner where y'all are struggling or you're struggling, you got to know where to go for help. Your word
Okay.
is your help. God is your help, your prayer closet. You've got to know what it means to cry out. Jeremiah 33:3 says, call out to God and he will hear you and he will show you these things that you uh don't understand. you know um so you've got to know how to cry out to God, and you got to learn how to listen and to be still and to let God do his working. So that's how
Yes.
by you don't go out there chasing and looking for the person, because the person will come. You just allow God to bring that person to you and ask God, Lord, prepare my heart for my person and prepare their heart, for me. And that's what I tell both of them. You know, it's not always about the money. But I get it's an important piece because you gotta live, you gotta buy things, you
Exactly.
gotta,
Exactly.
so I
And
definitely
God knows
understand
that.
that. Yeah, and
Yes.
he knows that. He knows that
Yeah.
very much. And because he's gonna make these provisions for you, whether you marry somebody rich, got money, or whatever. I mean, he's gonna make those provisions. But I think we also too have a financial responsibility to be good stewards of when it comes to our money
Well, what he
as
gives
well,
you.
because that's
Exactly.
that's part of
Exactly.
our worship, too. So if we're not good stewards when it comes to our money, what are we doing? you know um I was listening to something on TikTok, and it was talking about the reason why maybe God hasn't blessed us financially yet is because he's pruning us, and he's waiting for us to just to kind of get ourselves together, more or less. And he was like, if you took a look at everything that you spent your money on this week, what kind of story would it tell? Did you just go out here and spend money because you're spending to cope with something, or were you actually a good steward with your money, this week? And can God trust you, from taking you to from $1 to $1 million? Like, can he trust you with that? So there are so many elements that go into play, that go into that. But the hope is that this evening that this conversation resonated with you guys. You found it fun and entertaining as well, but it also gave you, you know, something that you can use, and that you go back and you replay this again, and that you have these conversations. And you know even if you have someone in your life who may not be on that same financial level, have a conversation, talk about budget, make a budget, draw it out, but there are so many other elements that go into a relationship other than you know the $5 or the $10 that you may be worried about. There's so much that just kind of flows into that. So kind of, did you have any last thoughts for our listeners?
No, just don't agree with everything that you just said. It's a case by case basis. What works for you, because in the end, you're the one that's going to have to be with this person, and you just have to make sure that you don't make uh, money a part of it. There will be times where, hopefully you won't mess up and say, well, we we could do this, but I know you don't like that because you
Mm-hmm.
think it costs too much. So sometimes, change is, change can be a good thing, because sometimes it may make you realize that it's not all about money,
Right.
but you still do everything out of love, and just really be objective, and like we've been saying in all things, and be honest with yourself. You definitely have to be honest with God, and
Right.
just take one day at a time. Now, it's a new year. It'll be a new you. As I always say, give yourself some grace to change, to be
Right.
different, to improve, to be better.
Right. Amen. I definitely agree. Well, listen,
Yes, yes.
guys, we really do appreciate you coming by the couch. It's always a pleasure to come and sit with your wine or your Chipotle or whatever it is, and just kind of, take it all in. But, the prayers that this has been something that, I don't know, maybe hit home with some people, and, something that resonates with some folks. But yeah, I mean, I think this was a good conversation to have, especially at the beginning of the year, because I know this is a topic that I've come across a lot, even in my own practice. But, just in all things, be good to yourself, be good to each other. When you come across these relationships and you're meeting people, give people a chance and an opportunity, and rightly so. If it's someone that you're not interested in, we're not saying force yourself into anything. Just, if it's not for you, then it's not for you, and that's okay.
Okay.
It's no judgment, for anybody. But we really do appreciate you being able to stop by the couch this evening on this hot Thursday. You know, so grateful for these listeners, the supporters who just allow us to come into your living rooms or wherever you are. It's just a great opportunity to get together and fellowship, every Thursday. But listen, join us here every Thursday, 7 p.m. on Hindsight Media Radio, 103.5 FM. You can catch us on YouTube as well, On the Couch with Sharita. And you can find these segments there later for your listening pleasure. But we certainly do appreciate you taking the time to stop by. But listen, we'll catch you here again next Thursday, 7 p.m., same time, same channel. Listen, you guys be easy. Have a great rest of your evening and a blessed weekend. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.